Hello and welcome again to Safety Short Series. From today, we are going to start the golden rules of safety, and the first golden rule is on work at height. Now, why we are taking this? See, basically, golden rules of when we talk of golden rules of safety, it's the most misunderstood concept. So, work at height is one of them. So often, our decision making, while understanding or making provisions for work at height are always going wrong. So that's the reason why we are going to discuss in this short safety video about the golden rule about work at height, where we will be talking about the definition as well as we will be taking an example how work at height provisions can help reduce other hazards or how these hazards, the difference where the hazards and risk are coming into picture and how this can help us. करेक्ट सो आप जैसे कि आप लोग सब जानते हैं कि सेफ्टी शॉर्ट वीडियोस वी आर फोकसिंग, हम लोग जो फोकस है वो कर रहे हैं छोटे छोटे वीडियोस के बारे में, और आज हम लोग शुरू करने जा रहे हैं गोल्डन सेफ्टी रूल्स दैट इज ऑन वर्क एट हाइट. सो सबसे पहले हम लोग आज इसके अंदर लेंगे डेफिनेशन, जिसके चलते हम लोग वर्क एट हाइट रेगुलेशन की जो डेफिनेशन है वो समझाएंगे, और उसको हम लोगों ने क्विक सेक्शन में डिफाइन किया हुआ है ताकि हम लोग का जो कोर कॉन्सेप्ट है वो समझ में आ जाए और उससे किस तरह से रिलेटेड काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें हैं उससे भी हम समझ पाए. आइए देखते हैं डेफिनेशन. बेसिकली वर्क एट हाइट रेगुलेशन का जो डेफिनेशन है वो बड़ा क्लियर डेफिनेशन, और ये जो डेफिनेशन है ये क्या कहता है. सबसे पहले ये डेफिनेशन ये कहता है दैट अ प्लेस वेयर अ पर्सन कैन बी इंजर्ड फॉलिंग फ्रॉम इवन इफ एट और बिलो ग्राउंड लेवल. मतलब कोई भी ऐसी जगह जहां से गिरकर आपको चोट लग सकती है वो वर्क एट हाइट है. और वर्क एट हाइट का मतलब सिर्फ ये नहीं होता है कि सिर्फ हम लोग एलिवेटेड हाइट पे काम कर रहे हैं. सो वर्क एट हाइट डजंट only mean that it is elevated, working on elevated height, but it also means working even if at or below ground levels also. So primarily any place of work from wherever, like if you are slipping and falling and you're getting injured, if you're tripping and falling if you're getting injured, if you are being struck by some object and you're falling and you're getting injured, that comes under work at height. Now slip trip, they are basically the risk, they are not the hazards. So you have to understand that very first. Now, to keep it more simple, let us quickly discuss that the second point, and that is uh, what does the regulation say? This second point in the regulation that states work includes moving around at a place of work. That means the very first part that it defined was any place where a person can fall and can get injured is work at height. Now this also includes work area. That means wherever you are going to work. Now that doesn't mean that you're walking in the half a kilometer premises. No, machine, if you're working on a machine, if you're moving around the machine, so that is included in work at height. That means if you're working on or maintaining a machine, if there are chances that you can fall and can get injured, the provisions of work at height are applicable. Similarly, the third point, it clarifies a lot of other things also. That means that does not include traveling to and from place of work. This means what? Often we misunderstand or mix work at height and fall protection together. So here this definition clarifies it, that okay, it does not include the approach or the wherever from wherever you are traveling to and fro. So that is not included in work at height. So work at height basically has only these three simple points. So what does it apply to? So you have to understand that वर्क एट हाइट, व्हेन वी टॉक ऑफ वर्क एट हाइट, जब हम वर्क एट हाइट के बारे में बात करते हैं तो वर्क एट हाइट में हम लोग को ये क्लियरली डेफिनेशन रेगुलेशन में ये बताया गया है कि कोई भी ऐसी जगह जहाँ से गिरकर आपको चोट लग सकती है, चाहे वो ज़मीनी सतह पे हो चाहे वो ज़मीनी सतह से नीचे हो, वर्क एट हाइट में आती है. ज़रूरी नहीं है कि वो सिर्फ एलिवेटेड हाइट पे हो. करेक्ट. आपका कार्य क्षेत्र जहाँ पे आप काम कर रहे हैं, यहाँ पे भी यहाँ से भी अगर गिरकर आपको चोट लग सकती है तो वो वर्क एट हाइट के अंडर में आता है, और इसके अंदर काम की जगह तक पहुंचने का रास्ता ये इंक्लूडेड नहीं है. अब now this is definition is okay, but let us try and understand the definition by an example. Suppose you're working on an electrical panel, or you're working on a moving motor part, or a motor, or in a motor room. So what will happen? So whenever you're working on an electrical panel or a motor, so there are chances that there is a sudden release of stored energy that can be in the form of electrical energy, or it can be in the form of mechanical energy. So whenever any type of mechanical energy or electrical energy releases and it pushes you back, there are chances that you can fall. Now, where you are going to fall definitely depends where you're standing, right? But there is a possibility of fall. Now, the moment you fall, if the work at height provisions are not thought well, what will happen? You will end up injuring yourself. So what you have to do? You have to make sure that work at height provision, like saving you, like keeping an insulated layer, or cushioning your back, this will protect. So this doesn't mean that you start insulating the entire area. This can be done on a temporary basis also. So you can do it on a temporary basis also. You can have a cushion on the back, so that if there is a chance that you might be pushed back, आपको पीछे से झटका लग सकता है और आप पीछे गिर सकते हैं, तो आप पीछे क्या कर सकते हैं, आप पीछे कुशनिंग जैसा सरफेस रख सकते हैं, इंसुलेटेड सरफेस रख सकते हैं. अब ये दो तरह से फायदा करेगा. सपोज इलेक्ट्रिकल पैनल रूम है और वहाँ पे कोई pointed edge है, if there is a pointed edge just behind your electrical panel, and if you can fall and you can get injured, so that it will protect you from there. Not even that, if you're working in a motor room, suppose one motor is working, one motor is not working, so that second motor is going to create a lot of noise. So if you have a proper cover over which you put the insulation sheet, what will happen? It will reduce the noise level also, so that you can work in that area with a proper set of mind. Now, these provisions can be made permanent also. These provisions can be made, temporary also. Now, you have to understand why. So these things come under work at height provisions. So work at height provision means you are trying to protect a person from injury. Like, I'll give you a very layman and a basic example. हम लोगों ने एक बहुत बेसिक एग्जांपल देते हैं, एंड दैट इज, हम लोगों ने सुना होगा कि वी मेक बेबी सेफ होम्स, right? So what we do, we cover all the edges, we put cushions on the corners, we we make sure that, so what are we making? We are actually doing work at height provisions. So this becomes very easy to understand. Now similarly, the same practice you have to bring in the industry. That doesn't mean that you put stickers or tape at the corners, but yes, what all provisions are possible. So if there are chances that a person can fall and can get injured, you must make such provisions that all the sharp edges or the areas where a person can fall and can get injured should be properly insulated, should be properly covered, or at least people should be properly instructed about it. So these are basically, there are some system level that you can work on. There is some, the work at height provisions are to be taken in the right direction. So this is how overall you look at the work at height definition, and then you can work on the provisions to improve the work at height activity. So this brings to an end of the shortest possible video, and we'll keep posting more such videos. Keep liking and sharing, and do not forget to subscribe our channel for our motivation. Thank you very much, friends. We'll keep contributing more such short videos and continue our safety short series.